Welcome to The Glowing Goddess. We are four women on a mission to positively impact, inspire, and ignite the collective consciousness with unique perspectives of empowering wisdom, divine guidance, and enlightening activation codes of truth. Tune in weekly for brand new episodes with a variety of epic content and tap into the magical offerings we have aligned for you. Thank you for being here. We are so grateful for your time and energy. Let's get glowing.
Hi, everybody. I'm Amanda Monnier. I'm an energy healer and coach, and I help people release all the painful patterns they've been holding and step into the truth of who they are, also creating like the most deepest desires in relation to their body. I'm so happy to be with you all today.
Hi, I'm Eleni Elnrg Yiambilis. First and foremost, I am a divine spiritual being. I'm a sister, a mother, a daughter, and a true lover of life. My passion is helping people deliberately create their desires and do that. I love speaking. I'm a motivational speaker, a best-selling author with a soon-to-be coming out children's book, and I am an ambassador with the iHeart Coaching Academy, helping women find freedom and sovereignty from the system that's been placed upon us. I'm a co-founder of CaliTerrace.life, a lifestyle brand, which also just provides courses to help people live their best life and be free of the bondage of limiting beliefs.
Woo! I love that. Love it, girl. And I'm Renee Marcou. I am a music producer and songwriter, and also the CEO of the iHeart Coaching Academy, where I guide women to rise into their financial and spiritual wealth, inspiring them to own their divine calling and worth and lead their life with confidence. It is amazing to be here with all of you today.
Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. My name is Krysta Lee. I am a woman, a mother, a wife, life coach, best-selling author, and a retired singer, songwriter, and actress. And I love helping people and serving others and guiding them along their most spiritual path. So I'm super happy to be here today with you lovely queens and so excited for this episode.
Oh, I'm so excited for this episode as well. And I'm just going to go ahead and introduce our topic today, which is what makes a goddess glow? So how can we interpret like the meaning of that? What makes a goddess glow? Well, we all have a story, right? We all have a story, and we all have those pivotal points in which we started to step into who we are or understand more of what did I come here to do? What is this mission that I'm here to accomplish? What is the calling of my soul? And it's been through going through the experiences and then looking back and applying perspective is when I'm really able to see in my own personal life when that was the time that was happening. It might not at that time have felt like it. I mean, for example, one of the parts of my story I think that really exemplifies that is I'm speaking on stages all over the world. So I'm an international speaker now. I have a very successful book out, but I'm still bartending. I'm stuck in this paradigm of I'm a single mom. I've really got to hustle to make things week by week. And I was kind of blocking myself off from my abundant flow because I wasn't all in. I wasn't all into what was making me happy, which was teaching people about their limiting beliefs, and because I was living in a limiting belief, but I was out of alignment with who I really was and what I came here to do. And I remember just hitting my knees one day and asking spirit, like, what am I still doing here? Is there some kind of lesson that I'm supposed to learn? And the lesson I heard in my ears, divine love. And that very night I had an experience in one of my shifts where someone just really was just vulgar. A woman had just drank too much and very quickly was just kind of very abrasive with me. And I just remember looking at her and thinking, I love her. Like, I didn't get upset. There may have been an old egoic part of me that would have been reactive to that. And in that moment, I looked at her with so much love because part of my story, I'm 15 years sober. I haven't had a drink in 15 yeyears. So I'm a recovered alcoholic. And every time I went out was like that. I probably treated 100 bartenders. Well, maybe not bartenders or people. I don't know. But most of the time I didn't remember it anyway. but there was probably so many circumstances in which I did that. So that was that lesson where I could just look at her, and I went home and I prayed for her because I knew that tomorrow she would feel, I know that feeling of waking up. I could feel that pain that she was going to experience the next day, that remorse, that guilt. And I felt so much love for her and compassion. And then the next day, I had gotten, it was in like a day or two that I gotten some news that a product I was working on had been invested in. And it was enough money where I could just focus solely on doing that and quit the bartending job. And I could focus on my product and my books and the different things I wanted to do. So it was once I learned that lesson of just unconditional compassion and full compassion that I was able to do that. I'll tell you, that investment never came through. Like, I quit my job and I that money didn't show up. And I remember just hitting my knees and saying, okay, God, I know you didn't lead me down a dark road. I'm a good person. I know that we're not going here for no reason, because there's a purpose to this. And I really started to meditate. And I thought to myself, I'll use this time to empower myself. So I started meditating and journaling in different levels and working on my inner child and doing all of these things that I had heard people talking about that I was familiar with, but never really took the time to cultivate for myself. I cannot make this up. Tens of thousands of dollars of magic money started to show up in my experience. Opportunities came forth that you just wouldn't even believe, like hand picked from the heavens, being invested in just to meditate. I learned to meditate, and then it ends up being something that I'm being invested in for. And then I launch out my company, and I come across so many interesting healing cases where I got to see what the body was capable of and what limiting beliefs really are. What that you don't have to believe what's told to you by doctors or such, that you get to write your own story. And I got to help people write their own story. And so that part of my life that felt very dark was really when my goddess glow was shining the brightest, and really so the light was lit, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know if any of you can relate, where you can where you look back at situations that felt maybe painful or scary, and like, that's the best freaking thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah, so much. And one thing that really resonated with what you said, Eleni, was that you get to create your own life. You get to create your own story. And I feel like that's such a big thing for people to kind of take with them out of this conversation. And in my experience, and I actually just wrote a post about this, so it very much so ties in, there's been this hollowing out process. So a bit about kind of my story is I kind of did all the things that you're told you should do, right? I got 2 undergraduate degrees. I jumped into a career in law enforcement. I bought a home. I arrived at this place where you have all the things society is like, oh, you've made it, right? And I was something's missing. I was like, something's missing, and it's not all this external stuff, right? It's something, there's a connection, there's a piece missing for me. And so, long story short, I ended up quitting my career and leaving law enforcement, selling my home, moving, deciding I was going to start this business, and thought it would be sunshine and rainbows. But little did I know, there were many initiations I was to go through. And what came through around it was this hollowing out so that I could actually receive everything that I desired. It was like a hollowing out of all of the old identities I carried, all of the shoulds, all of the stories that are so heavy. And through this process, for me, it's been like a death and rebirth, because in the choosing of what I want to create, it's like I had to let go of all of this stuff. And don't get me wrong, there have been plenty of times where I have wanted to throw in the towel, because this, it's so beautiful, but it's also so humbling because of the things that, we've held inside. You were speaking even of the body and the healing. It's all that low vibrational energy that we've held inside, and all the limiting beliefs and all the heaviness, all the things that don't feel expansive, that in turn does cause those, those ailments and those symptoms. And so in the letting go of all of this stuff, it's you create that space to actually be able to hold and to experience what it is you desire. And we're just not taught this stuff. And it's it just is a very humbling process, because emotions actually are beautiful, although sometimes they can feel very painful. It's like the feeling feels so real, but it's like I always say too, your desires, for those of you listening, like the things that that you deeply yearn for and desire, they're not there by accident. You're not wanting these things just because. And sometimes sometimes we need to go a bit deeper into, like, we think we want this thing, but we actually want the feeling of like freedom or love or whatever it is. But it's always an opportunity to have this awareness and this acknowledgement. So it's, we're all on our own journey, and it sure isn't black and white. I don't know if any of you else have experienced that, but it ain't one size fits all.
That's so true, Amanda. I love what you're saying, and Eleni, you as well. I can resonate with so much of what you're both speaking on right now. And I know for me personally, like, how I allow for my true inner goddess to glow is literally just by peeling back the layers, because I feel like as we're raised and we grow and we go through all these challenges in life, it's almost as if we just like are putting on masks and coats and like having these pieces of ourselves become who we are. So I know for me personally, I went through a few hardships growing up, and I was born with spina bifida and then developed scoliosis when I was 18, and had issues with my pelvic floor and stuff, and cervical cancer and things like this. And like, for me, I could have allowed all of those things to stay with me and define me and who I am. But I think by learning to work through those things and overcoming those obstacles and literally letting them go, that's how my glow can come from the inside out, because it's not being shadowed and shaded by these dark parts of me. And I think it's a really beautiful perspective to have, to take those parts of our journey and, like, the unhealthy relationships and being in debt and like all these things, like I know I've experienced personally, and so many of our listeners I'm sure have as well. It's easy to get swallowed up in that energy. However, if we can learn to peel back those layers and just release them and just rebirthing ourselves and continue to rise like a phoenix from the ashes, that's where our glow is. And I really truly believe that everything that happens to us for our divine purpose and reason that we're here. And God, universe, source doesn't give us anything that we cannot handle. And the reason why we're gifted these challenges and obstacles is because we can survive and even thrive through them, and then go forth and share our journey with others. And I know for me personally, like sharing and speaking on these things that I'm going through or have gone through is very healing and also very uplifting. And also I find just like really gives others permission to like lean into those challenges with the knowing that there is light at the end of the tunnel, and I can still glow and embody my most goddess self because of these things. It's almost like little like wounds, like warrior wounds or battle wounds along the way that we accumulate. However, we don't have to allow them to define us so deeply. And
Krysta, can I ask you, do you feel like it was your perspective of how you looked at those challenges that helped you to shift the dynamic, the meaning of it, the meaning that you gave it, like you're saying, warrior wounds? I think that's really helpful for a lot of our viewers out there, right? We get to decide the meaning. So I'm hearing from your story that you gave it a different meaning, which allowed you to embody that glow.
Absolutely, you nailed it, Eleni. Like for me, like I always have seen life through these rose-colored glasses, and so even though there's all these hardships and whatnot that happened, I focus on like, what is this becoming? Like, how is this making me who I am? And like for me, like writing about it was so huge, because I just really wanted to like take the pain and turn it into something purposeful. And I did that with my dad too, like with the loss of my father. I was 11 when he passed away. I literally like wrote songs about it that were so healing for me and comforting. And these beautiful gifts came out of these most terrible traumatic times in my life. And I really think that it's all about the perspective. It absolutely is. And for me, like there was doctors that told my mom when I was a baby that I would never walk. I'd be in a wheelchair for my life. I would be using diapers into adulthood, like all these terrible things. But I really truly believe that she instilled in me this attitude of gratitude and almost like this like wanting to prove them wrong, like focusing on that like 1% chance that I would walk. That's where my focus goes. Forget about the 99% chance they said I'll be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life. That doesn't mean anything. I'm going to be the one that's going to break the cycle, break the mold, and show that it can be done. And it all depends on our focus and perspective. Absolutely.
Yeah. We don't have to believe what's told to us, right? Like that one, as long as there's that 1% living and walking this world, well then there's no proof that it can't be you, right? There's absolutely no proof.
Yes, we're all living, breathing miracles, and I believe that we should act as such, because when we do, then it's like everything we attract that back to us. Like it literally opens up this whole new world of expansion, because we are looking for the miracles instead of the madness and the sadness and all those other things.
Literally, I'm literally meeting each and every single one of you exactly in all of your stories and your experiences. And I'm just like, oh yes, that's been a part of my life. This different story, but a different feel, like the same feeling, the same kind of transformation. And one thing that I continue to keep hearing, like as I'm witnessing all of you in your goddess glow and being here and sharing what you've done to really enlighten more of that goddess glow within you, is the definition of you. Like you have all never let anybody else define you, no matter what society has says, doctor has says, parents have said, all these people, you know, it's like you've actually remembered your truth within yourself the entire time. And that's a topic that I want to speak on and share, because that is, you know, even throughout time, I know for myself, I had forgotten it. And I was like, whoa, wait a second, like, let me get back to my truth here. Let me get back to the feeling of that I am the divine creator. I didn't know, you know, of my life, that co-creator. I didn't know that being a child, but I had this tool of music to go and soothe myself with. And I had this tool of music to be able to relate to other people through their songs. I mean, did I have heartbreak at age 5? I'm not sure, right? Like I don't, maybe with a pet or something, but I didn't have like a romantic relationship at that time. But I was feeling these emotions, and they were kind of almost through the music, through the lyrics, through the storytelling, that it was relatable to others. And I was like, okay, cool. Like my life doesn't have to look the exact same way that this person's life is, or like the caretakers, my grandparents, my parents. Like I took what I wanted out of those experiences from those people around me and those who were influencing me, and I made my own life. I defined it for me. That's how I was able to really accomplish the things in my life that I have, because I didn't let them define me at the end of the day. And there was a time, I remember it literally like it was yesterday. I was I was actually 17 years old. And there was this doctor. I was going through like a point in my life. I had an ex who, like high school ex, but it was a real deal love. Okay. Who was like getting like super, you know, intertwined with me, and, you know, kind of, not to say stalking, it wasn't on that level, but it was just more like so much wounding and all this stuff coming through. And I was experiencing panic attacks for the sake of, I didn't know, my body didn't know how to handle what I was carrying and going through. And I went into the doctor's office, and this one particular doctor told me I would have hypothyroidism for the remainder of my life. And every single day I would have to take a pill to cure this hypothyroidism. And first off, I never even heard of hypothyroidism, because I'm not really in with the science of the body. Like, right, I appreciate the body, the energy, all this amazing stuff, but I didn't even know what that was, or even like what a thyroid was, to be honest. So as this person's telling me, I said, well, how many clients of you or patients of yours have actually recovered from this? And she said 2. And she was probably in her 60s, and she was the head of this department in particular. And I said, well, I'll be your 3rd. I am coming to these pills like that. I will be your 3rd. And she, like, whatever, probably thought in her head, yeah, nice try, good luck, blah, blah, blah. And it was from that experience where I really said, I can 100% lean into this and believe and buy into her belief system around the fact that my hypothyroidism is going to take over my life, because I'm not a person who enjoys taking a pill every day. It doesn't feel right in my body. If it's right for other people, that's right for them. It is not right for me. So I'm honoring that within me. And within 3 months, I think I took the pills for 4 weeks. And then after that, I was like, I'm over it. And I learned how to deal with the panic attacks, because it was an internal thing, right? Something in me trying to be released. And I had given myself time to heal. I wasn't like, oh, press the magic button and things, happened. But I listened to what was going on in myself during those times of panic. I was listening to my thoughts. I was feeling what my body was feeling. And I had learned how to really cope with that and deal with that and change that system that was happening within me during those times. And that, for some reason, needed to be shared today with everybody. But that, for me, when I went back 3 months later, they said, your levels are perfect. You don't need to be on any medication, all these other things. And I'm like, okay, thank you, universe. Thank you, God. Thank you, goddess, for showing me that I don't have to buy into what somebody else tells me my life needs to be. And I've done that time and time again. And I'm not here to be like, bragging or anything. It's like that sensation of just ownership of you, of me, of myself, and just really defining what my life's going to look like. We are all creators. Every single one of you said that in this episode today. Like, we are all creating our own reality, and we are all miracles, like Krysta said, and we need to act as such. We get to choose. We get to choose.
I love that, Renee. I think it's almost like a defiant action, but with like coming from the deepest sense of love and knowing of self. I love that so much. Good for you. That's amazing.
I literally was feeling it in my stomach, like my solar plexus area, as you were talking. And I feel like this is going to like hit home with so many listeners, because it's just a reminder. Like, it's such a beautiful story. And it's just a reminder that, like, you deep down, you always know what's right for you, like at your core, at that center. And it's like all the chatter in the external, and why, oftentimes people would just be like, oh, well, the doctor is an authority, right? We look at these external things as authorities over us, but it's actually not true, right? You are your own authority, and you have your own sovereignty. And it's just, when we remember this, it gives us that, that we can really tap back into that space within us where like, it's our sacred no or our sacred yes, and really practicing leaning into our own feelings about things. And it doesn't mean that maybe that's right for somebody else, and that's okay. They're on their journey, but we always know, we always have that. And sometimes it just takes that pause. And then it's like, we may even second guess ourselves, but just asking God, higher self, whatever, higher power, whatever you label that higher power, you can just ask for that guidance to be shown to you, and for all those veils to be lifted, and to just be able to see through to like the laser truth of whatever the situation is. And then in that moment, you can say, no, thank you, I'm good. Or maybe it's a yes, but it really just starts to create this stability, because it's like this inner peace that, really, really has gotten like diluted, like how potent and how powerful that is in each one of us. And we just end up kind of falling in line, is kind of, we all have kind of gone through this process where parts of us have fallen in line because we wanted to fit in, or like that self-worth maybe wasn't quite there, or we were subscribing to some story that our mom told us, oh, you have to like, do X, Y, and Z so that you save face and you show up, looking in certain such way, but it wasn't aligned. And so we can always go back to that inner truth. I always say, like, we can never lose it. This journey is one of just remembering, and we can peel back all those layers of the shoulds and the densities and just like send them off. We don't have to keep holding those. And it's so simple, and we can literally just do that in this moment. And so I love that story. It's so beautiful. Such a beautiful reminder.
And you know what I love most about it too, is that it's continuous. Like, you can look at like a belief might pop off, like, do I want to hold on to this belief anywhere? No, I'm going to choose something new. I'm going to choose a new way. Things are simply, the beliefs are simply thoughts, and thoughts can always be changed. But at any time, a new situation could be presented to you. Do I want to believe this or don't I? You get to choose. There's no right or wrong. It's just what you say, because it's your story, right? I love it. Oh, what a great episode, gals!
Yeah.
Oh, great. Oh, I suppose, should we move on to our tips?
Ooh,
Do you think, ladies, is it
Yeah.
time?
Time for
I'm excited to share today.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess I'll start. So actually, and it kind of ties into some of the things we've been talking about in the body and that awareness, but this beautiful practice that is actually going to become a part of my own like embodiment practice. But it's around this heart awareness. And there are so many of us, and myself included, where a lot of these things have ended up kind of numbing parts of ourselves in our heart because it's been so painful being open, right? We haven't been received. And so we close off. You can even tell in people's posture and, like really just bringing that back in. So basically this practice, you can close your eyes and you can just drop deep into your heart. And when you think you've dropped deep into your heart, just drop a bit deeper in. And for some of you, you may notice a bit of pain or stuckness or numbness or ache. And I just invite you to just sit with it and acknowledge it if that is showing up for you. For some, you may not feel so much heaviness, but really what we're doing is we're creating space and we're acknowledging what's there. And then you can ask for support to just start to dissolve parts of this pain that is in the heart, just to really create that space and that openness, because this is like such a portal for magnetism and magnetizing our desires. And for myself, like I've experienced so much heart closure because of all the pain that I experienced growing up with different things that happened. And so have been in this journey, in this process of opening my heart back up. So this is something that has been really helpful, and just really, just even if it's just 1%, just starting to feel your heart again, and in whatever feels the right amount for you. And then when you feel those painful bits and those numb bits or whatever it is, the emotions, you can bring that light straight from pure source in and just like allow it to just support, and just ask for that support to just dissolve and to just open up the heart a bit more. So that's my tip for the day.
And one of the things that, for any of our viewers that might have children, to really start to teach this skill, like with my own daughter, just taking those deep breaths and pretending that we're exhaling it through the heart, as if I have her put a straw up there as a fun activity and try to breathe it out the straw. But really, right, just igniting that heart, like relief is that close. Peace is that close. It's in that breath. Like he is the one thing that we need. We think we need money. You need air. People, you need air. And it gives the awaken the heart, it awakens the heart. It does so many things. I made an awesome tip. My tip is for fitness. So my background is actually nutrition and fitness, and I wanted to share with everyone something that I've been kind of re-pulling back into my routine, and I've just found it so beneficial, and that's doing planks. So setting yourself to the task of maybe doing a plank challenge, start off with 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 8 minutes. I'm actually going to be putting some of my favorite plank challenges on our Facebook group, if anybody wants to give them a go. But planks strengthen your core. They improve balance and posture, flexibility. They boost your metabolism, improve your mood, and they relieve stress and reduce belly fat. But what I find really, really beneficial about doing planks is that, let's just say you don't have a lot of time to do a big workout, but you want to feel like you've accomplished something. You're really going to be working most of your muscles holding yourself in a plank. So doing a variation of planks for like 8 minutes, adding a plank challenge at the end of your day, after about an hour after you've stopped your food intake, is really going to put you in a high fat burning mode if you're looking to kind of shed some pounds or change the physique in any way. But planks are just a wonderful tool. And I find that if I'm feeling a little wound up or I have to release some energy, some people love yoga. For me, doing variations of planks really works for me. It really helps I can feel the flow of energy just kind of straighten out through my body, and I can focus on that happening. I can make that mind muscle connection. But I love them. I love breaking them up and then again doing like an extra set of them at the end of the day to really kind of put myself in the target mode to shed those extra holiday pounds that might be. It's when we're filming this, we're in the getting right past Thanksgiving and into the Christmas season, so the cookies will be out. The cookies will be out, and the planks will be flowing. But I'm going to post my favorite challenges in the group today to share with you guys. But I love them. They've made a big difference in the way I feel overall, my strength. So.
I love that, Eleni and Amanda too. These are great tips, and I'm all about the planks. I love the planks. Like strengthening the core is so huge for me, especially because I've had so many back issues. So it's like all connected, and strengthening that core is so important. And love breathing into the heart space too. That's one of my favorite things to do, and I always feel so good after doing that. And it goes along well with what I would like to share today, which is essential oils, which I don't think we have really touched on too much here in the episodes, but these are something that I literally use every day. So I've got like a container that holds like 100 different oils that I have, and I just picked 3 here: frankincense, lavender, and geranium. These are like some of my favorites, and like literally oils are here to support all parts of our being. So like physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I use them every day in diffusers. I'll even put them on my bracelets. I've got like some lava bead bracelets. I'll put them on as perfume, drop them in the bathtub, rub them on my kids, like drink them topically, orally, like literally I'm doing everything with oils all the time. And like there's an oil for everything. So what I did like years ago when I first started getting into essential oils and like learning how to work with them and how to support my body with them, I got a book, which I don't have here, but it was The Essential Life is the name of the book. I'll drop it on our page here. It's amazing, and it literally has like a flip through, like if you have anything going on like headaches or nausea or like menstrual cramps, literally anything, look it up, and then it lists the oils that are good for that. And it's like literally been a game changer for my family and I highly recommend them. There's a spot that I grab oils every month online that I can drop the link in as well here for you guys to check out. And yeah, just make sure you're getting like pure, highest grade possible, and then you can literally consume them, which is nice. I make teas all the time, like peppermint and lemon, and oh my gosh, I could go on forever about the oils, but I am oil obsessed. They're so great.
Girl, I hear you on that too. I also love my oils as well. And right before our episode today, I put on Northern Lights Black Spruce. I like that smell around me, and the Northern Lights are so magical. So I'm like, bring in the vibes. So thank you. Loving these tips, everybody. So I'm going to share my tip, and it's going to be a symbol. So as we are talking about remembering the goddess glow, aligning to that goddess glow again, is one thing that always helps me is having a symbol either on my body or around me. So it's something that I don't necessarily need to carry with me all day long or anything like that, but it's like this reminder. So I have like a symbol here on my desk. I have a symbol next to my bed, and it can be any type of symbol. For me, I like words because I'm a songwriter, I'm a writer, like words are friends of mine, right? Like some people love numbers, I love words. So I will pick out words that really bring a symbolic energy to me to remind me. That reminder of like sometimes even when it's not conscious, it's like the subconscious mind is still picking up on it. So one of my words, of course, is love. So I have my symbol of love here on my desk every day, because anytime I'm sitting at my desk, my intention is to be creating with love, sharing with love, and doing all the things with love. So any type of symbol, but it could be, I'm looking around to actually have another symbol here. It's an owl, which reminds me of the wisdom within and sharing the wisdom, receiving wisdom from others as well. So I have a couple, spiritual symbols and, animal spirit symbols as well. So bringing in that nice symbol, just reminding you to keep on glowing.
A little owl's so cute. He's so cute. It's so little.
What a beautiful reminder too. Like I'm super visual, so I love that, like the visual cues to keep us in alignment and remind us why we're on this path. And I love that. That's so great. Thank you for sharing. And I believe now we can hop into our offers. I would like to offer this week for our lovely listeners a BOGO special on my books. So if anyone would like to grab a copy of my books, I will offer a second one for free this time around. I'll drop the link in the page there for you guys.
All right, my offer, I'll jump in. I have in spirit and celebration of the launch of a new venture I have going with two very gifted young ladies, the One Stop Spiritual Shop. We're offering 20% off any service using the code Glowing Goddess, and I'll post all the deets in the Facebook group. So really looking forward. It says everything from readings to custom made healing crystal pendants. Just really amazed and at these young ladies that I get to watch them shine. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That sounds so juicy. So amazing, Lenny. I love both of those so much. I actually taught a master class and did a healing within the master class. Time is so weird. I think it was 2 weeks ago as of recording this, and it's all around releasing these like painful, like cyclical looping cycles and really erecting that like architecture in your consciousness to create that stability in your field. And just a bit about why this happens, a healing practice and an activation to it's called Activate Your Divine Badassery. And I had such a fun time teaching this class and doing this healing. And so for listeners here, I'm going to put a special code in. Glowing Goddess is the code too. So you guys will be able to remember that one. And I'm offering 50% off for listeners who would like to partake in this course, this healing activation, which I absolutely I loved the transmission that came through. So I will pop that code in the links in our Facebook group as well.
Yes, and to say I was there in her class and it was literally magic, and so many juicy vibes for me came through. So definitely you have to check that out. Thank you so much, Amanda and everybody. So my offer is going to be a 3 keys to manifest a soul aligned life. It has been one of the offers I did offer in another episode as well, but I really, really love to help people drive home manifestation. So then you can also implement these simple, easy tools just to get you on the path or to help amplify the path that you're on. And I'll pop that link as well in the group on the episode link too.
Awesome. All such amazing offers, all of which you can find on our Facebook group, The Glowing Goddess. Come in, chat with us. We love to hear from you. If you have episode ideas, if you have questions for any of us, but definitely to check out our tips and offers and be part of our community. That's what makes this thrive, this collective sense of connection. That's why we do what we do. But until the next time, my friends, divine love.